Target Trading Academy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Preston Vogl here at Target Trading Academy with today's Micros Market Recap. It is Thursday, January 26th at the close of New York. Let's get right into it with micro oil. Just blow this chart right up. So with oil, we opened gap up, had an initial buy. Well, it was kind of slow at first. You can see first 23 minutes or so for half hour, it went sideways. So with that being said, it was slow open, but they opened, finally found some resistance, and then they just melted down back into balance. And then they found support in this area and came back up. Once they hit this, all bets were off where they're going to go, and they just went sideways. And that's pretty much what we said would happen in the room. So with that, oil is closing net positive. The close was down here. It got close enough. I don't think they quite technically got the close, but they got close enough to it, and they did finish higher. So we are closing net positive in oil for the day. As far as gold goes, we opened below the close. Had that news come out at 8:30, we had a huge pile of news. We don't trade news per se. We are aware of the news. We don't do any speculative trading here. That's all nonsense. That's what's going to get you into a world of hurt. And the volatility around news in itself is usually too hot to handle. But you can see there the support and resistance holding quite well in this example. Yeah, there's some bleed through, but that's to be given with the volatility that's there. But for all intents and purposes, they had a brick of sideways movement, even with the news. They had to run up, they grabbed their close, and then they just nosedived on their way down. Found some support. That later turned into resistance, and then they had a little bit of volatility kick in again and hit that support and melted on all the way back up to this area here where we settled out for the remainder of the day. So we're finishing net down in gold. That volatility was pretty crazy, and you'll see some of that in the equities here. But speaking of which, let's go right into micro ES for today. There was quite a bit of volatility in the morning, and then it kind of just meandered out through the rest of the evening. And we were talking about this yesterday about expected increase in volatility in the morning, especially because of that news. And it's exactly what happened. We had volatility, we had a lot of market movement, and then it died off after lunch. So we opened gap up in the ES, in the NASDAQ, had an initial movement up, turned around once, twice, three times at that HVA. Remember, these HVAs, high volume areas, are drawn the night before the next day's trading activity. So these were drawn last night, I believe, at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And then it came on down, hit support, hit resistance, and then it just was a fight. You can see the little bit of bleed through, but it was a fight in these HVAs. They finally came back up, hit it as support, tried to make new highs, and it was stuff. They couldn't even make it past the opening lows, really, before they came back down even further. I do have to say that they did finally get back into balance. They didn't quite get to their close right away. They ultimately did get their close from the day prior. And then after that, they turned around and started melting up. Now, during that lunchtime, it did take a while, but during that lunchtime, they did make that melt up. And you can see, I want to say close to 2, they finally made new highs, got hit. Oh, sorry, those highs were up here. New highs got hit, and then finally they broke through within those last 30 minutes or so. And it's a similar story in the NASDAQ. So without saying too much, they are going to be finishing net positive for the day. But NASDAQ never really could penetrate into that range from yesterday to even make a move towards the close. It was really just the ES that led that charge. But the NASDAQ, straight movement up, similar to the ES, and then they were coming back down, hit that support, and then they fought it for a very long time. Still had some response after they left it. So that first time back, after a while, they hit it, responded pretty well off of it. Again, these levels are drawn out the night before, and it was just a fight. It was a fight to try to get down there. Good volatility to be trading with, good potentials, good opportunities, plenty in the ES. Ultimately, though, towards that afternoon, it was just it was a grind on the way up. But we did eventually get new highs, and that's where we are left off today. We had a prior opening high around here. Finally hit that HVA edge, came down once, twice, three times. Fourth time they broke through, and they are now right here settling in above the initial balance for today and well above the range and close from yesterday. So we are finishing net positive for the day in our equities, net positive in oil, down in gold. If you are interested in learning more about these levels and how you can get them onto your charts the night before, feel free to reach out to us. Or if you're interested in learning the methodology, we trade futures. We have a set methodology that is rigorously driven into our students so that they can execute on their own and be their own traders by following the rules that we lay out for them. We don't call out signals for you to follow along, because if we would call out signals, you'd be in it late and the move would most likely already be over. And that's what just happens with all the other companies out there. They are signal callers and you're getting in late. And that's just not what you want. You want to be able to execute and think for yourself and ultimately provide for yourself with trading. If you are interested in that potential, feel free to reach out to us. We are Target Trading Academy. You can find us on Facebook or go to our website at targettrading.co. Again, that is targettrading.co. Get in touch with the representative at either location. They'll gladly show you what we do in our rooms each and every day, and you'll see for yourself why we are the #1 trading education and company in the world. We look forward to seeing you there.